Welcome back to Inside Look, an Inside Ambition segment where we take a deep dive into something happening here at Drexel. I'm Alexandra George. Drexel made national headlines last week. Sadly, it wasn't because our show was featured on Ellen, nor because Mario won America's Next Top Model. It was because a Drexel grad student got themselves into some hot water. In fact, he had been the one fanning the flames. But you know they don't call us dragons for nothing. Inside Ambition is anything but a show that breaks news. So you already know about the 22-year-old Drexel student named Andre Dworshin, who formed a group called Philly Fighting COVID, or PFC. PFC was tasked with leading Philadelphia's long-awaited vaccine initiative, mainly for healthcare workers. And at first, this was great news. But just 2 weeks after Philly's first mass vaccination clinic went live, the city cut all ties with the group over concerns about its data privacy policy, its sudden shift to a for-profit status, and its failure to maintain testing sites. And I know that's like a lot of red flags, but I think Philly took a page from Bachelor Matt James's book here. I mean, the exposed bra alone should have been enough to send the Queen, Victoria, home. But also, according to TikTok, she's racist. To any Bachelor producers watching this show, can we please stop giving platforms to people like this? It is not okay. I'm afraid now that Rachel is going to be this season's Garrett. And by that I mean she's going to be this season's closeted white supremacist. I'm grateful to finally have a black bachelor, but you just can't call that progress. That's like taping over a hole in the wall. Whatever, back to Philly fighting COVID. More like Philly fighting corruption. Ooh, psychology major fighting COVID and losing. Spoiler alert, the best part about this plotline is that for once the villain is someone other than Lady Coronavirus. Now let's take an inside look. Planned to talk about all the good things that Philly Fighting COVID was doing on our show. But luckily, we did not get the chance to release those segments before Dworshin went and exposed himself as a fraud. Unfortunately, President Fry was not as lucky, as he is now trying to distance himself from this project, even though actual nursing students here at Drexel helped to administer vaccines. Now that this project has been suspended, many in the city, namely health professionals, including our fellow dragons on co-op and clinical rotations, are in a state of limbo. Most received the first dose of the vaccine, but are now unsure as to where and when to get the second. When pitching the program to City Council, Dworshin called the PFC, quote, like an Elon Musk shooting for the heavens type thing, and also bragged to his staff about his path to becoming a millionaire, as he planned to get the vaccines for free from the federal government, but then charge insurance companies up to $30 per dose. That's some Reddit GameStop type-ish. Not only did Dworshin plan to pocket cash in his role as CEO for PFC, but he actually pocketed stolen doses of the vaccine to give to his friends. Let's just sit with that for a second. I know being a Drexel student can go to your head sometimes. I mean, we go to like the closest thing to an Ivy League university. We literally border Penn. But come on, bro, that's a whole nother level. Dworshin confessed to stealing doses on the Today Show in what was his first TV interview since the fallout of the scandal. I know, we tried to snag him first, but we just don't have that kind of budget. And if this all wasn't enough, Philly Fighting COVID also changed their data privacy policy, allowing the company to sell private user data, including items such as name, age, address, health conditions, and, this is true, access to the very first TikTok you posted. Sorry, Courtney, I know you tried to delete your take on the water is coming from the toilet trend, but it's out of your hands now. Dworshin claimed, however, that he had no intention of selling any information. He said the newly acquired for-profit status of the company was only meant to help fundraise and handle the costs of running clinics. I wish I could come up with a joke like that. According to WHYY, former PFC members came forward and said that people there were much more likely to be bragging about how much money they were going to make rather than how much they were going to help the community. But as a Drexel student myself, I gotta say, I understand why Dworshyn is so concerned about his dollar. Dworshyn also defended his decision to inject his friends despite not being a registered nurse. In fact, he's the complete opposite, a graduate student studying psychology. He said on Today that he administered 4 doses which had been left over and were about to expire. Really, bro? Not trying to let things go to waste? What are you supposed to do with a degree in psychology? He said, quote, "I stand by that decision. I understand that I made that mistake. That is my mistake to carry for the rest of my life. But that is not the mistake of the organization." This entire situation raises many crucial questions, mainly about how a group of young, unqualified students, no offense, was able to run the first mass vaccination clinic in Philadelphia. Not a single member of the clinic's executive team had a doctor of medicine or a postgraduate degree in public health. Dworshyn himself is still in the process of completing a 5-year psychology program here at Drexel, a fact that reflects poorly on our university and all the students here who are busy not exploiting a global pandemic. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? I created this show for the people, not just to boost my resume. The clinic has administered nearly 7,000 shots to Philadelphia residents, making up 8% of the city's total first dose count. As a resident of University City, surrounded by tall, dark, and handsome medical research centers and hospitals, I gotta ask, how could this have happened? Maybe bad things do happen in Philadelphia. Well, it seems that the city had a reason to have faith in PFC, as before Dworshyn was making headlines for his mistakes, he was praised for his positive actions. Dworshyn formed Philly Fighting COVID during the early months of the pandemic, when he and a group of Drexel friends decided to make face shields with 3D printers and donate them to local hospitals. The group then morphed into a pop-up COVID-19 testing center during the summer, then pivoted to its current iteration, vaccines. Which all sounds really great, but what happened to that 2 to 3 year experience requirement for an entry-level position? The lack of transparency and expertise on Dworshyn's part is worrisome, and may even have harmful effects on vaccine distribution in the future. This story confirms the nightmare of those who don't trust the government or city officials, and for those that were hopeful and trusting about the vaccine, this is a glaring disappointment. According to records obtained by the Philadelphia Inquirer, Deputy Health Commissioner Dr. Caroline Johnson has resigned in the wake of it coming to light that she gave an advantage to Dworshyn in the bidding process for the city's largest vaccination site. Apparently, suspicious emails were involved. When are people going to learn that nothing is safe in your emails? Why do you think Mario stopped answering my calls? He saw all the seductive letters I emailed to UPenn's Quaker mascot, but I promise it wasn't real. His 2019 makeover just had me confused. Mario, I promise I will never love anyone else like I love you. Please take me back. I think that I'm watching too much Scandal because I have so many ideas about why she would have given this opportunity to a psych major over literally anyone else. Is it sex? Drugs? Death? Johnson even went so far as to give Dworshyn advice on his application, telling him to go in conservatively with $500,000, which is about equal to a quarter's tuition here at our beloved institution. President Fry made it clear on the message he sent out on January 28th that the university is in no way affiliated with Philly Fighting COVID. He also said that we are thankful for all the healthcare workers risking their lives every day to fight this virus, which is a message we would like to echo here at Inside Ambition. In all seriousness, while I'm happy that Lady Coronavirus is not at fault this week, it is still so disappointing to be covering this story. We all need to do better. We finally have a vaccine, a way out of this palindrome. This just goes to show that at the end of the day, all we can do is our own part to combat this parabola. Wearing masks, social distancing, and doing our part to breathe just a little bit less. We want to hear from you. What do you think about this situation? What tea do you have to spill about PFC? And moreover, how does this situation affect you? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, to stay up to date with all of our content, make sure to follow our Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Psst, psst, psst. I have a secret. Subscribe to our channel to find out what it is.